On June 28, 1914, a 19-year-old Bosnian Serb named Gavrilo Princip fired 2 shots in Sarajevo and accidentally started the most destructive war the world had ever seen. Within weeks, the great powers of Europe were locked in a death embrace. Germany marched through Belgium, France mobilized, Britain declared war, and trenches began to snake across the continent like open wounds. In Washington, President Woodrow Wilson immediately proclaimed strict neutrality. America was still a debtor nation, still looking inward after the Spanish-American War and the Progressive Era reforms. Most citizens wanted nothing to do with Europe's quarrel. For almost 3 years, they watched from afar as the Western Front turned into a slaughterhouse. Verdun, the Somme, Passchendaele, names that became synonyms for hell. American factories boomed, selling everything from boots to bullets to the Allies, and by 1916, the United States had flipped from the world's largest debtor to its largest creditor. J.P. Morgan alone loaned Britain and France over $2 billion. Then Germany rolled the dice twice and lost. In January 1917, Foreign Secretary Arthur Zimmerman sent the infamous telegram offering Mexico a return of Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona if it attacked America. British intelligence intercepted it, decoded it, and slipped it to Washington. The press exploded. Days later, Germany announced unrestricted submarine warfare. Any ship, neutral or not, would be sunk on sight. In March alone, 7 American merchant vessels went to the bottom. On the night of April 2, 1917, Woodrow Wilson, former university president, champion of peace, stood before Congress and asked for a declaration of war to make the world safe for democracy. 4 days later, on Good Friday, the United States entered the Great War. The regular army was laughably small, 127,000 men, ranked 17th in the world, behind Portugal. But the Selective Service Act of May 1917 changed everything. "I want you all to register, and I want you to do it with a smile," said the posters. Nearly 24 million men signed up. Almost 3 million were drafted. Another 2 million volunteered. By summer 1918, 10,000 doughboys a day were pouring off troop ships in France, singing George M. Cohen's Over There and believing they'd be home by Christmas. They arrived just as the Allies were on the verge of collapse. The Russian Revolution had knocked Russia out of the war, freeing 50 fresh German divisions for a final spring offensive. Paris was under shell fire from the monstrous Paris gun, 75 miles away. French soldiers were mutinying. British troops were down to their last rations. Then the Americans hit the line. May 28, 1918, Cantigny, the U.S. 1st Division captured the first German-held village and repelled 12 counterattacks. June 1918, Bellewood. The Marines were told to hold a forest. German machine guns cut them down, but they charged anyway. "Come on, you sons of bitches, do you want to live forever?" roared Gunnery Sergeant Dan Daly. They took the wood, renamed it Wood of the Brigade of Hell by the Germans. July 1918, Second Battle of the Marne, the turning point. Fresh American divisions plugged the gaps and pushed the Germans back. By September, General John J. Pershing finally got his independent American First Army. 1 million men attacked the St. Mihiel salient and erased a 4-year-old bulge in just 36 hours. Then the bloodiest chapter, the Meuse-Argonne offensive, September 26 to November 11. 47 straight days of attack through the densest wire, strongest forts, and worst terrain on the Western Front. The Lost Battalion held out for 6 days surrounded. Sergeant Alvin York single-handedly killed 25 Germans and captured 132. The 77th Division fought until only 200 men could walk. Casualties were staggering: 26,277 killed, 95,785 wounded, more than all American wars from the Revolution to Korea combined. On November 11, 1918, at 5:45 a.m., the armistice was signed in a railway car in Compiègne Forest. At the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the guns fell silent. The war cost America 116,516 lives, 53,402 in battle, the rest to the Spanish flu that swept through overcrowded camps and troop ships. But it shattered 4 empires, German, Austro-Hungarian, Russian, Ottoman, redrew the map of Europe and the Middle East, and shifted the world's financial center from London to New York forever. Woodrow Wilson sailed to Europe in December 1918 aboard the former German liner George Washington, greeted as a savior. Parisians showered his cabbage with flowers. He was the first president to visit Europe while in office. His 14 points promised open diplomacy, self-determination, and a League of Nations. But back home, Republican senators, led by Henry Cabot Lodge, saw the League as a betrayal of American sovereignty. Wilson toured the country pleading for ratification. In Pueblo, Colorado, he collapsed. Days later, a massive stroke left him partially paralyzed. Bedridden and bitter, he ordered Democrats to vote against any compromise. The Senate rejected the Treaty of Versailles twice. America never joined the League it had created. The Doughboys came home to victory parades, then to a nation that wanted to forget everything. The Roaring Twenties began. Prohibition, jazz, speakeasies, flappers, but also the Red Scare, race riots, and the rise of isolationism. The Lost Generation, Hemingway, Fitzgerald, Dos Passos, wrote of a world broken beyond repair. And in a Munich beer hall, a corporal who had been gassed on the Western Front began to speak of revenge. World War I was supposed to be the war to end all wars. It failed. But in 19 short months of combat, the United States had gone from a sleepy republic to the decisive power on Earth. The American century had begun, whether America wanted it or not. At the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the world fell silent. Europe lay in ruins. America stood atop the wreckage, rich, powerful, and utterly unwilling to lead. The stage was set for an even greater catastrophe. Subscribe now. World War II is coming next.